All right, welcome back. This is MDawg. We are filming another episode here. So this is just another of our leveling series, although this one's going to be a little different. I am also fishing on my main account. We're going to try that again. There's a spot on Amber, so you're getting 2 for 1 today. Spot on Amber that I want to try. First of all, let's focus on the main account. I haven't, done anything since our last recorded episode. We're still level 16, still have just over 500 silver, and right now we're fishing at Old Berg. There are several bream spots, but none of them look great, so I just decided we would try one. Maybe we'll try a second one. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. On my main account, what I'm doing is I'm actually trying to fish for some carp at Amber. So I'm still working on understanding exactly what people are using. I'm trying to... Oh, wait, that's not what I meant to do. Let's see. So if I'm over here... Oh, nope. I think I'm hitting space instead of shift. 1 second. All right, there we go. Trying to grab this, pop it into here. Of course, a lot of things on VK are in Russian, and so I'm trying to make sure I understand exactly what they are reporting is working in this spot. So what we want to do is we want to go to I actually think I don't want to do anything. Norway runs really poorly on my second computer, my streaming computer that I'm trying to play on. I don't think this is going to affect the recording. You'll see the same lag that I am on the smaller screen, but my main screen, the main thing we're fishing on, should be fine. All right, so we're looking at cream brulee. Looks like sinking, and it's the big size. All right, so we've got some of those, and we're looking at white chocolate. I just want to get these boilies really quick, and then I'm gonna get out of here of this map. All right, so that's also size 18. We will catch these fish in just a second here, folks. And then we're using, looks like white chocolate dip, which I'll get a second one of those. And then on the, let's look at ground bait. We're using ground peas as a base, which that is not common. Let me just tell you, when going for carp. All right, let's catch these fish really quick. Sorry I've waited this long. All right. I do want to tell you exactly what baits we're using. So we're fishing for bream. We're using bream ground bait because we recently have unlocked the ability to craft it. And this third setup you can kind of ignore. But what I'm trying to test is 1 versus 2. The first setup is cottage cheese dough. The second setup is pearl barley. Both baits still seem to be working pretty good on bream. So I'm trying to figure out, are we heading towards pearl barley being the best bait and cottage cheese is still hanging on a little bit? Or are both baits still going to work just in sort of different spots here on Old Berg? But work differently. So again, sort of ignore the third rod because it's got a smaller hook, so it's going to have a whole different bite rate and everything. But these 2 rods have the same hooks. Both of them have large 1 size hooks. One of them is cottage cheese, one of them is pearl barley. Everything else is the same. Okay, and then we're getting biscuit, which we already have some of that. We're getting cream, size 10 pellets. Wait, do we have 10 pellets? Oh yeah, it's up here. Got it. All right, and then We're putting it all together with white chocolate flavored attractant. And let's go back to all. And one thing I'm just noticing is that they have crushed up white chocolate, the same baits they're using, they're crushing up. So we do need to get a couple more of each. So the downside of doing that is that turns this PVA into something that's pretty expensive. I'm excited about this spot though if it works well, because it's also it's a good spot for lower level players who have just gotten to Amber. So even though it's a much higher level than what our leveling account is at now, some of you may be well past this but still fairly new to the game, and this spot here at Amber might be a worthwhile spot to consider. And we are going to be using PVA, but if you don't have PVA, the spot still will work. The question is, how good is the bite rate? And what I would suggest trying in that kind of situation is playing around with a little bit smaller baits. So like we're going to be using 2 boilies that are size 18s. Maybe take one of them down to size 14. So have a 14 and an 18. Or even try a double 14. Or maybe put one on there with pellets, an 18 but with pellets. Just those smaller bait particles not only affect the PVA or ground bait, but also the actual thing you're fishing with. You can get a little bit better bite rate sometimes. Okay, so now that we're here at Amber and things aren't quite as wonky because we're not standing in the downtown of that that Norway map, let's see. We need to make the PVA still. All right, so what do y'all think of this bream spot we're at? So far, it's very slow. Very slow, which is kind of what we've been saying about bream spots at Old Berg lately, isn't it? We just haven't hit the really good one yet, or we haven't zeroed in on the way to approach it. All right, so we're going to use 1/0 hooks. We're doing double sinking boilie. So there is the white chocolate 18, along with the cream brulee 18. And then we are doing the white chocolate dip, and then we'll put PVA on there eventually. So there's our setup. And that one looks good. And fish on. So not that we can say anything definitive, but early impression is that, yeah, it looks like pearl barley might be doing slightly better than cottage cheese at this point on these bream. Once we get Amber set up and in the water, I will I'll look around, see if maybe there's a good spot at Mosquito. We just want something we can go grind it out. Like, we just need some money at this point. Not really the levels. The levels are going to come, but the money. We need silver. So you see they have white chocolate 14. This is what I was saying. If you don't have PVA, you might consider going with the smaller size boilie. I don't mind it being a little bit of a slower bite rate since we are actually fishing on 2 accounts while we're doing this, but you definitely make the most money at Amber and have the most fun, in my opinion, when you're getting a really nice bite rate. So if you don't have PVA, you might need to experiment a little bit to try to increase that bite rate. Just to keep it original, we'll put the cream brulee on top over here. And then white chocolate 18. White chocolate. Okay, time to crush up that crazy PVA. All right, so we want to crush these boilies, man. And if we fail, by the way, if we fail, it's such an expensive mistake. All right, so we're gonna crush up. We're just gonna make, oh, I forgot, happy hour. We're just gonna make, I I think one thing for now, because I have no idea what kind of bite rate, if it's gonna seem good enough that it's worth all this, but this is an expensive way to go about doing PVA. Having 2 crushed boilies in there. All right. Creme brulee, white chocolate. I mean, I think it makes sense to do this sometimes. Like actually use the baits that you're fishing with in the PVA mix, but it gets pricey. For some reason they've got biscuit. I mean, to me, this PVA mix is a little all over the place. And then cream tin, that makes sense. I think you could have just used, you know, all the different cream and saved a lot and probably been just as good. But all right, so white chocolate. We'll just call it white chocolate. 2, 6, 24. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so like instead of that, I don't even know if there are white chocolate PVA stuff. There's not. But you could, I mean, you could fill up all of the additives with cream stuff. Cocoa and cream, regular cream, sweet cream, a little bit of all, a little bit of both of that. And we are going to turn this into a really nice, what did we call it? White chocolate. A really nice PVA. Okay. All right, now we just need to get out to our spot real quick. This will work out just about perfect. And we are at 83, 145 with 35 clip. Very familiar spot to anyone who's done a lot of fishing at amber, or even just a little fishing at amber, honestly. I would normally say I'm not above walking that far because it's not that far to 83, 145, but I do sort of want us to get our rods in the water here so I can focus on our leveling account a little more than I have been able to, and because we need to just start getting a plan. This is way too slow, so we can go to another bream spot or more of a more general spot perhaps, but this is slow. There is a tench, well, it's not a tench spot. It's a crucian, gibble, common carp spot where people have been catching tench as a bycatch. And if we use smaller hooks, like I might be brave enough to try that, but really it makes more sense to do that when your gear allows you to fish for those common carp a little bit more aggressively than what we have. Okay. So 35 meters, everything looks set up correctly. It looks like we are going to be casting just left of and then right at the peg that's across from. This is actually right across from peg 1 on the amber map. Straight across from peg 1. And we're not spotting, so you know we don't have to put these in the exact same spot, but I do want to get them pretty close. Wow, we're already catching our first carp. That was very quick here at amber. Okay. Let's see what we've got here first. So bad. This spot is just no bueno. So yeah, let me pull up Old Mosquito after we catch this carp, and then we just need to decide, do we want to go somewhere else, Old Berg, and just kind of go for the Crucian Gibble stuff? Or do we want to go to Old Mosquito and see if we can hit some cafe orders, or at least just grind through some silver? I was hoping one of these bream spots would kind of surface as being better, but okay, so if you're paying attention here at Amber at 83,145, this first fish is one of the reasons why we're in this spot. Probably the main reason. Right now on these baits, this setup, there are rare carp that are biting. So this is an 8.2 kilo mirror ghost carp. Not even that big of a carp, but we're over 100,000 XP on this sucker. So really nice fish. If there's even a small chance of hitting a trophy on one of those, it is worth our time. Okay, we've got a moment. Let's look really quick. Again, we do have some other Old Berg spots that I can glance at, but first I just want to see if anything stands out from the recent posts about Mosquito. All right, so here is a bream spot at Mosquito. It looks about as bad as this one, although someone did catch a trophy, at least on this VK post. A lot of undersized. There are some gibbles and crucian mixed in. They're fishing off cottage cheese dough with a large one hook. You go down to like a 8-10 hook. Maybe you catch, maybe 12 hook, maybe you catch a little bit better percentage of other fish, and it's not quite as torturous, but I don't know. A lot of folks right now are trying to catch eyed for their trophy cards, it looks like. Oh, somebody did post about a bleak spot at Mosquito. That does look like the same bleak spot we've tried before. They were using pearl barley and flies. It looks pretty good though, if there was bleak orders at least. So, I don't know. Is anything standing out? Not necessarily. Maybe that, bream eyed spot. We do have a carp on at Amber. But let's glance at the other Old Berg spots before we make any final decisions. I'm actually not going to even cast that third rod back out. Let's see what we've got here at Amber. Man, we've got two fish on. All right, this just looks like a common carp and a relatively small one. $4.224. I do like that new model they've got for the common carp. It's taking some getting used to, but it's growing on me. This also seems pretty small. I think this is also a common carp. $3.4. If nothing else, we're already doing pretty well overall just because of that rare. Let's do a little spitting. Yeah, cottage cheese dough was unbelievably slow in this spot actually. Pearl barley outperformed it a little bit, but it wasn't great. It was not great. Okay, so the Old Berg page, what are we showing here? Oh yeah, this tench spot I was telling you about, or tench bycatch. We're just gonna have to lower our hook size. We're gonna hit some common. Here's another bream spot at B6 and then another one at D7. I have seen a lot of pike posts at Old Berg lately. All right, let's just go see how active we are at this. I don't know what to call it. It's not a tench spot, but All right, this is 26.39 on cottage cheese dough. What's the clip? 8-meter clip, just outside of the fort. Okay. We've got a couple fish on there. On that one. So we know we're going to be using cottage cheese dough. We could also test pearl barley on one, and we know we want to do a smaller hook size. We got a little bit of a path to go here. I would say we don't want anything bigger than a 10 hook size, and even that, you know, it's just a matter of time till we get in trouble. But let's just see what the bite rate's like. Lots of nibbles at Amber right now. All right, 26.39, 8-meter clip. Is it just to the right a little bit, I guess? Yeah, it's just like right here. 8 meters. And we want to go maybe Crucian Gibble mix. And I'm thinking 10 is the largest. And this one will go even smaller, I think. I'm going to put pearl barley on the third one just to test how good that might be. What is this? Speaking of tench, 1.5 kilo tench on this carp setup. I mean, that's a nice tench, but again, this is a pretty expensive, between the boilies and the PVA. We're definitely cutting into our profit a little bit. But the bite rate seems solid so far. I mean, it's morning, so we got to remember that, but we've already got a fish on the first rod, don't we? Yeah, line's screaming too. What is our friction break at? Did we turn the head? Are we good? Man, you hope this is a tench and not a common carp. I think it might be. Yeah, we actually got a tench on the first fish. Okay. We got to take that. We got to take that friction break way down though. All right, so this one we're going to also do Crucian Gibble and a smaller hook with cottage cheese dough and an 8-meter clip. And then here, I guess pearl barley. Let's start off with pearl barley. And again, 14 hook. Might even be worth going 16. I mean, this setup is so small. I mean, if we hit a decent sized common carp, like we're actually like, we're in Oldberg purgatory. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of bite rate we're getting. And man, this amber bite rate is terrific so far. Somewhat decent sized fish here. So we have gone on a common carp streak ever since getting that rare carp. I think besides the tench, that's all we've seen, right? Yeah, mirror ghost carp was the very first fish. And common, tench, common. Oh, that's what we want to see. If we get a healthy mix of decent gibbles and occasional tench and somehow dodge getting punished by nasty common carp, that would be an okay time, I think. I think that would be quite good. I kind of wish we had checked the cafe orders here, because it does seem like some of it just depends on Mosquito versus Oldberg, which one has the more like hittable cafe orders. All right, one of these has a fish on it both at Amber and Oldberg. I think it's the first rod at Amber. Yep, there it went. All right, so we're getting a little roach on this pearl barley, and to be honest, I'm okay with that. I guess this is just another common. It's probably our biggest common yet. It's a pretty decent one. Is it going to hit 10 kilos? I might be overestimating its girth, but it looks pretty healthy. Oh yeah, 11.3. Gotta love it. Okay. So the assumption here is, yeah, we have a fish on. It's pretty small, but that's okay. Sleeper! Catching all the fish. I bet you did not have that on your bingo card. Cottage cheese and sleeper. I really think this is the first rod again. Nope, I'm wrong. It's the third rod. Ooh, fish ran straight for shore. This is a baby common carp, right? Yeah. 1.8. That's about as big as we want to catch at Oldberg. If we have to get a common carp, don't let it be bigger than 1.8. Yeah, this first rod's doing the volume fishing over here with the cottage cheese and the little bit bigger hook. Although pearl barley's doing okay too. And this is where, I don't know, maybe we get lucky on a cafe order or something, all these random small fish we're catching. You know, we're catching fish, hopefully leveling up bottom fishing. It's not the greatest. I'm wondering if Mosquito is still like doing pretty well, like a kind of an all-around spot right near there, near the dock. I mean, it usually is, but let me look at some other resources while we're waiting here. All right, Oldberg 2826. Where is that? 2826. And that was on Pearl Barley. Somebody called a trophy bream, but they don't show their whole net. You know, sometimes that means the spot is terrible and they just got the lucky bycatch of the trophy bream. So it looks like citrus is also working in this spotted amber, and people are catching different rares on the citrus. All right, if this is another, what is that? Is that a really small common carp? Oh yeah, okay. Crucian Gibble. So it looks like this spot in amber is doing pretty well on rares, and according to what bait you use, you get different rares. Ooh, barbel. I love seeing a barbel. We just cannot stay ahead of this discomfort from the rain at amber. Need to put ground bait on that one. Then we've got a fish on at amber. Let's find some more rares. That is a very small common carp, 2.8. Looks like we've got a fish on the first rod again. Little small crucian. Maybe we do want to have slightly bigger hooks. The common carp is what's keeping me from going bigger hooks, but we're getting a lot of small fish, aren't we? All right, what is this at amber on line 1? Then we'll get that fish at Oldberg. This appears to be another common carp. The Oldberg bite rate, though, is not terrible. And again, we're seeing sort of a variety of different fish species, which sometimes is good just in terms of cafes. Okay, so Need to watch friction brake, not have it too high. At least it's a marker crucian. We'll take that. Pulling out the small common roach on the pearl barley. Did that one small common carp we caught come out on cottage cheese? It did. Maybe we can make a small risk of saying pearl barley is going to catch more roach and stuff, not as much common carp. Maybe we can go slightly bigger hook on the pearl barley. I don't know. That is very small. Now this is small time of day, to be fair, but still. All right, that's 16. Let's go to 6. Whew, 6 is awfully big if we do catch a carp. Let's go to 14. Ooh, nice fish at Amber, and small fish at Old Berg. Oof, that got a little awkward. It's okay. Let's focus on this decent carp here. I need to check, see if I have mono or braided line on these Megaras here at Amber. Now, if the fish turn to our left, there's nowhere for them to go. So you can kind of trap them back there. But if they turn to our right, they can get out to open water, and if we have mono especially, we could risk getting spooled if it was like maybe like a trophy, not trophy, but like a really big trophy leather or something. All right, what is this? Is it a common? I mean, this is where you just hope to get that Loki rare when you have a fish this size. But frankly, I can't tell yet. All right, let's we're also, all right, that's just like a mirror, or what's the other one called? Yeah, it's a mirror. It kind of for a second looked like a linear. I couldn't see where the scales were. I could just tell they were there somewhere. That's a pretty good size. Pretty good size mirror. We'll take that for sure. We've got all kinds of fish happenings over here at Old Berg. All kinds of small stuff happening. Ooh. Is this a tench? Yep. It is getting back to that time of day where tints are a possibility. Oh, it's a nice crucian, 542. Wow, I'm telling you, this seems like a really solid bite rated amber. What are we at? 14 fish. Now I know I'm a little distracted because we've got 6 feeder rods in at the moment, but oh, I think that's another mirror carp. Okay. Now the friction break's down pretty low at Old Berg, so that it's not necessarily like panic time, but it sounds pretty aggressive. All right, let's see what we've got going here. All right, so I'd say, you know, small chance that it's a tench, but if it keeps this up for too long, which way do we want it to run? Don't we want it to run to the left here? I don't know if it goes under that bridge, but if there's any chance it doesn't go under that bridge, then we want it to go left. Now, if this is common carp, then, you know, I don't know how big it is, but it could just be a while. All right, I'm just going to sit it like this, and we're going to catch a fish over here. We've still got plenty of line. There's no slack in the line, so if it pops off, but it's not because of slack. What is this? This is just another common carp. All right. Ooh. Good thing we had that good thing we had the line clipped, because I just like full casted at at amber. It would have cast like way past peg 1. All right, we need to start pulling here so it doesn't. All right, there's a leather. So we're catching all kinds of stuff here in this spot. I consider leather carp a pseudo rare carp. I mean, I don't really think of it as like the real rare carp, but technically it is in that category now. I'm just having a little bit of a hard time imagining this being a tench. I think even a trophy tench at this point has probably chilled out a bit. Okay, so let's go to our other rods here. Uh-oh. Let's don't lose the fish out of carelessness. And this is rod 1, right? Yeah. And I am going to set it down, pull this in, because I'm pretty convinced that that's just a, you know, small common carp. And I don't mind like hanging on and trying to be patient to wear it out, but I don't want to like stop everything if that's the case. Can we turn its head here? Well, if I'd known we were going to turn its head, I wouldn't have picked up this other line, but at amber. But we actually did just turn its head. Let's see if we can keep it coming this way or not. All right. Let me carefully try to focus back over here for a second. I mean, he is just straight up coming in now. I can't see him yet. All right, he just poked his mouth out of the water. There's the top of him. But I don't really want to look down at the moment. I mean, he's just coming straight in, so let's just let him come straight in. All right, we can see enough now to say definitely common carp, right? The question is, will it be, I don't know, over 3 kilos? Is that asking too much? Hey! Personal biggest fish caught. And we are now ranked 2 feeder. Watch out. So there's points in bottom fishing, which you love to see, and almost 1,500 XP, which at this point is a good bit of XP. That is a nice chunk. There's a nice roach. And something else. Okay. So, how are we doing? At Amber, we've got 30 minutes of fishing, 18 carp. That is a pretty decent rate. So it's going to be at least a 30 to 40 carp an hour spot, at least right now, it appears, with this setup. At least for the first hour. Could slow down after you fished it a little bit. This is a nice crucian, over a kilo. 43.9 on bottom fishing. Love to see it. Oh, we got to take this off 29 break. And there's another sub-marker gibble. And so at this spot, we have been here for 23 minutes. $28 fish. I mean, that's a pretty good average, actually. That's okay. We'll take it. I don't know. I wonder if the crucians and gibbles are they active enough that they're gonna like go off at night? Or should we move on to try another bream spot? There's a crucian. Maybe we should just see this through and fish this spot a little bit longer since we're here, and just see how it goes into the evening before we find a stopping point. How many PVAs do we have left? 10? Oh, is this a second rare? Oh my goodness, this is a second rare. Another ghost. Wow. That's huge. And it's another decent one too. This one's 12.4, 155,000 plus XP. Man, oh man. That one fish would take you from level 16 to level 17 and a half if you caught it with premium in happy hour. But you would also get spooled unless you trapped it somewhere, because that would be too strong of a fish. I do like these roach. That feels like a more reasonable thing for us to be catching, especially on our third setup, which is still very small. We need to go ahead and just, I mean, I don't know. Depends on what kind of fishing we end up doing over the next several episodes, but in some ways we should just go ahead and buy our third Comma Comfort setup, and we could be a little bit more aggressive on bream spots and stuff, but so far there hasn't been like great bream spots, so that hasn't, it's not like it feels like we've missed out on much yet, but I mean, there are mirror carp at least somewhat active in this spot on amber, so you wouldn't think it would be completely dead at night. Wow. Okay. Can we turn its head? Dang it! I know I was being silly and aggressive there, but that last one really was accidental. I was not trying to flip the mouse wheel up, but that's the thing. This mouse wheel, and it's been this way since I've had this mouse, and I've thought about like, why do I even keep using this mouse? But this mouse wheel is so finicky and slick. Like it goes, oh, is this a frame carp? So many different carp species we're catching in this one spot. Frame-sided carp. Anyway, it's like the mouse wheel just does its own thing sometimes. But that does cost us a hook there and a leader. I don't remember if I have extra leaders or not. What is this? Oh, that's just a common carp. It's getting so dark I couldn't hardly see it. $4.8. I need to remember to get that leader replacement. I just don't know like where it was in stock. It might have been here. Oh, I do have a 4.4. Is that what I'm using? Surely we have 5s on here though, right? Oh, we are using 4.4s. Well, no wonder it's struggle bus. That was a nice hook we lost though, actually. I'm just remembering what we had on there. Goes up to 6 load capacity. Like, we need to figure out how to get more power. I guess the other issue is we're using these Lacertes. They only go 3.8. So it's not like we have a whole lot more power to get it, but all right. Where are we at time-wise? Yeah, we need to start thinking about a exit ramp. Let's give it a couple more minutes, see, as we're into evening now, if we're still catching crucian gibbles. Just so we know. And then we'll go just see if we got any lucky cafes or anything. I mean, we've not done great, but so many non-markers is going to make it, is going to block us from getting decent silver, but we've made some decent XP. We've gotten some bottom points, and according to what cafe orders are up, you know, you could get lucky on a cafe order, random Tinch cafe order or something, but oh my goodness. The rare carp really are coming out here. Now we've got a common ghost carp. So I think I've already said this, but this is 83 145 clip 35 at Oldberg on white chocolate cream brulee white chocolate dip mix. with the PVA is sort of expensive. It's got the crushed cream brulee white chocolate boilies with biscuit, cream feed pellets 10, ground peas base, and white chocolate dip. Ooh. It's 11:30, so this fish probably hooked in just after 11. It could still be a common, but you're kind of getting towards mirror carp time. More likely to see mirror carp at night, I think. Once it gets late, the commons tend to chill out. I never did check to see if this is mono or braid. I'm surprised we can't see the fish yet. Let's get a little bit of stuff going to try to help our energy and our comfort level. This is a pretty... And it never ran on us, so it's likely not a trophy, but it is definitely a decent sized carp. I can't tell what it is yet. It's so chill. Yeah, it looks like it is just a common. It's just a chill common. $18.9, almost 19 kilo common. Fish everywhere. Whoa. I am totally fine if this fish pops off. Oh, we turned its head. We've got him moving to shore. I don't think he'll recover from this. I think we'll pull him right in. It's going to be hard in this little distance for him to actually turn and move. Yeah, we got him. So what is this? A little, is that a little eyed? No wonder he's pulling so hard. Goodness. 1 kilo eyed. All right, so we are seeing some little bit larger crucians come in. Oh my goodness. All right, 1 second. You know, it's funny. Somebody had just posted a comment on one of my recent videos and said, how have you been able to make these videos with how unstable the server has been? Well, I guess I've gotten fortunate, although some of the videos were recorded before, obviously, the problem started. But since these server stability problems started, yeah, it's been real. The tough problems getting all this done. All right, I think that's a sign though. We're gonna have to wrap it up. I've tried to log in a couple times on both accounts and neither one of them are allowing me back in, which means the server is down and not popping right back on. So I guess if I remember, I'll try to estimate how much silver we made. Not on my main account. There's no telling at Amber. I mean, we're actually doing pretty well over there because of the value of those rares. I would say though, on our leveling series here, we're not making a ton of silver in this spot, but it was fun. It was fun fishing there because of that danger, right? So it's good to learn a little bit about that spot. All right, tight lines, everybody. I'll see you next time. Hopefully these server stability issues will be worked out soon. And as always, thanks for the support. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.